Hi, my name is Nicole Akiru, and I'm going to be presenting to you about Nintendo and why you should invest in it. Let's start off with the introduction. Nintendo is a Japanese company which was first founded in 1889 by Fusajiro Yamauchi. It started off as a small business and as playing cards, which were called Hanafuda playing cards. Since the playing cards were so successful, Nintendo distributed their first console in 1977, which was the color game TV. They continued to be even more successful and they created the the Donkey Kong game, which was introduced by Mario Marketing, and as well as Nintendo's entry to the arcade market. In 1996, they continued with innovations with consoles have and they continue to have iconic franchises like Super Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and more. So the current CEO is Shintaro Furukawa. He grew up in Tokyo, Japan, and was born in 1972. He grew up playing games as a young child. He graduated from West Bay University and joined Nintendo in 1994 and has worked in various roles like global marketing, accounting, and executive department. This shows that Shuntaro Furukawa has put his place and is a major factor on why he is the CEO today. This is the evaluation history of Nintendo. And as you can see through the years, you can see how the consoles has changed. And as you can see, for example, in the 1980s, this is where they created the iconic games like Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, and Donkey Kong. As you can see in the late 2000s, where the was created and the different types of Wii games and the modern Switch and the modern Nintendo console that is mostly used by everyone today, which is the Nintendo Switch. So Nintendo's P/E ratio is 37.22, which is not good or bad. It is just in the middle. And generally, a good P/E ratio is under 25. But comparing to Nintendo's P/E ratio to other competitors like GameStop, which has a P/E ratio of 83.58, Roblox with a P/E ratio of -18.4, and CD Projekt with a ratio of 82.77. This generally shows that Nintendo is valued compared to them. And you can see that even though there's a negative sign on Roblox, it shows that when there's a negative sign of a P/E ratio, it shows that the company is going through financial problems, basically. So yeah. Um, the working capital ratio basically measures the company's ability to pay its short-term finances, and in order to see a good capital ratio number, the number must be above one, or no, the number must be one or above, or just under below one. And you can see that Nintendo is doing exceptionally well with the current ratio of 5.27. This shows that Nintendo is worth being invested, and it proves that they are in a healthy level of liquidity and financially stable. And it also shows that Nintendo has stayed consistent with high current ratio over the past years, according to the graph. So an acid test is basically a stricter version of the working capital ratio. And as you can see, Nintendo is still doing an exceptional job with the acid test with the 4.7. This demonstrates that the company is still valuable and it highlights Nintendo's strong position despite removing inventory as an asset. So the market cap. Nintendo is a large market cap, which makes it part of the S&P 500. This shows that the company is not going anywhere and it is not as much risk to invest in it. It also compared to Apple with the market cap of 3.54. 1.49 trillion. This shows that we definitely have room to grow and change and improve ourselves. So if Apple can do it, so can we. Nintendo has various strong competitors, and those competitors include Sony PlayStation, Microsoft Xbox, Mobile Apple Games, Activision Blizzard, Sega Tencent Games. Oh, I just want to add on that since Nintendo's coming up with a new console, that means that their competition is even gonna increase. Why should you invest in Nintendo? So, like I said, the new Nintendo 2 is expected to arrive, and that shows that there's going to be an increase in revenue, most likely an increase in revenue and share price, because every time there is a new launch ongoing with anything with Nintendo, their revenue always spikes and increases. Um, Overall, Nintendo is continues to have an outstanding performance and it's a strong company with it's a strong family friendly company that allows all ages to play. Nintendo is also currently debt to equity ratio free and has not been in debt for the past 5 years. This graph generally shows Nintendo's growth. As you can see, between 2005 and 2010, that is when I believe the Wii consoles was coming out, and you can see the spike in revenue. Same with the 2015 to 2020. So between there, you can see the revenue increase because a new console came out. And as you can see in 2020, their revenue increased not only because of, the still ongoing console, but because that was during COVID time, and that showed that Nintendo was a source of entertainment and that it had an impact and had an impact on everybody by getting through the pandemic and being entertained generally. So, just like any other companies, Nintendo also has some liabilities to it. For example, since Nintendo is a large cap company, it can be a safe bet, but not necessarily conducive to rapid growth because of its low risk of of yeah. Um, in addition, that Nintendo is does not currently feature AI, and they're not planning to do so in the future. This is viewed as a missed opportunity by the public to elevate their games systems with AI. But I believe that you don't have to do it all with AI. In conclusion, generally speaking, Nintendo is highly supreme and valuable to invest in, mainly because Nintendo is a large cap company, is an excellent working capital ratio, passes the asset test with flying colors. The PE ratio shows that it's fairly valued, especially compared to other big companies. In addition, the stocks continues to increase and it shows future plans that will be successful. These are my sources, and thank you for listening on why you should invest in Nintendo.